KEYC TV Mankato, the one to watch for local news and weather. Now, News 12 at 5.
There's nothing in there that's graphic or sexually exploitive or anything along those lines.
Today, we learn a Blue Earth County judge agrees, dismissing child pornography charges against MSU football coach Todd Hoffner. We have team coverage. Hear from Hoffner's neighbors, his fans, and Hoffner himself. Good evening, I'm Nicole Winters. MSU coach Todd Hoffner is cleared of charges against him. The 26-page ruling coming down from Judge Krista Jash early this afternoon. We begin our team coverage with News 12's Joel Runk, who is just back from a press conference with Hoffner and his attorney. Joel?
Nicole, MSU coach Todd Hoffner is cleared of the charges against him. This 26-page ruling came down from Judge Krista Jass early this afternoon. Judge Jass's ruling became public just before 1 o'clock today. Now, in this ruling, Judge Jass said images and videos on Todd Hoffner's university-issued cell phone were not pornography, and that the children in the video were not harmed as a result. Now, back in August, university officials walked Coach Hoffner off the Maverick football practice field, and several days later, a search of the Hoffner home and car was executed. From the beginning, Hoffner's defense attorney Jim Fleming stated the videos were nothing more than harmless private family moments, immediately moving for dismissal. And several weeks later, Hoffner's wife Melody reiterated that defense. Now today, they found the judge in the case agreed. In her ruling, Judge Krista Jass cited the First Amendment, free speech, and the 14th Amendment, equal protection of laws. And today, Todd Hoffner said this case has turned his life upside down.
To be waking up from this nightmare.
I'm sorry, who?
At today's press conference, Jerry Mashka, an attorney for the law firm representing Hoffner, said he is pleased with this outcome.
Today confirms what we have contended all along here, that Todd Hoffner is totally and completely innocent.
Right now, attorneys say Hoffner is still on leave at MSU and that Hoffner wants to resume coaching duties at the school. Reporting live from the newsroom, Joel Runk, News 12.
All right, thanks, Joel. Well, the Blue Earth County Attorney's Office responding to the decision today by Judge Jass. A statement issued by prosecutor Mike Hansen said his office does not agree with the court's decision, but that they accept it, saying the prosecutor's office was only trying to protect children. The written statement says, quote, no matter what the prosecutor does in a controversial case with a high-profile suspect, they will be criticized, unquote. Statement closed with, quote, enough media attention has been devoted to this case, and we do not plan to make any further comment, unquote. Meanwhile, Minnesota State University Mankato is not commenting on the criminal charges being dismissed against Hoffner. However, a university spokesman tells News 12 that there is no change in Hoffner's status with the university. He remains on administrative leave pending a university investigation. University says they are unable to comment on specifics regarding that investigation. Well, this case has drawn plenty of attention and emotion. News 12's Brittany Larson tells us how MSU students and Hoffner's neighbors are reacting to the news. Brittany?
Yeah, it was a sigh of relief for Todd Hoffner supporters after finding out the news his charges have been dropped. Today I spoke to a neighbor and an MSU student who were both thrilled to hear the news.
Appeared quiet at Todd Hoffner's home in Eagle Lake, but a next-door neighbor had plenty to say. Nathan Grenzner says this has been an up-and-down roller coaster with a happy ending.
It's been very difficult. We felt very bad for the family and all they've been put through. We have children the same age as theirs, and they play together all the time, and so just to see this and to see it so close, it's, you know, very glad to hear that it's gone the way it has.
Over at MSU, where players and fans are gearing up for the Division II quarterfinal tomorrow, freshman Craig Schumacher, who never misses a game, says he's very excited.
Now they're 12-0, and it's crazy to think that, you know, they did it all without their actual head coach. And I'm happy for them that, you know, the charges were dropped and, you know, they didn't have evidence to prove them guilty.
On social media, much of the same. One commenter on Friends of Todd Hoffner's Facebook page says she has tears of joy and this is great news, while another message says, a sigh of relief, this just made my day.
While Coach Hoffner has plenty of support in the community, it's still not certain he'll remain here. The family recently listed their home for sale, but haven't said if they actually plan to move. Live in the studio, Brittany Larson, News 12.
All right, thanks, Brittany. Well, we bring in sports director Perry Dyke now to talk about the MSU football team. Perry, despite all the controversies surrounding Hoffner, They've had a phenomenal season.
How ironic is this football team has the best record in school history, the best performance in school history while this is going on. And of course, they knew that they were going to have to perform without coach at the very get-go because it's happening before the season began. They've been undefeated, and I know Coach Hoffner, he says he wants to return to work. Whether that will be at MSU or elsewhere, we'll have to wait and see, because as we know, that investigation by the university is still ongoing. But this football team has done everything that's been asked of them. Acting head coach Aaron Keene and his staff, of course, came in, took over. They've done an excellent job. This football team has remained focused all season long. They've run their record the best ever at 12-0. They've got a big game coming up tomorrow, the biggest game in history. It's a Super Region final against Missouri Western State. If they win that game tomorrow, they will be in the Final Four in the nation. That's never happened here at the university. I know the guys on the team are going to have mixed feelings about this. They've got to be happy for Coach. He's got to feel like a big ton of weight is lifted off his shoulders. He's got to be happy for his family. The football team, though, remains focused now on that football game tomorrow. They've got to win that and move on. We'll see what happens.
Well, you said they've got to remain focused,
right.
But is this going to hurt their focus for tomorrow's game?
You know what? That could go two ways. Sometimes you can use that to help or hinder you. I think they'll use it as a motivating factor. They're going to be happy that the coach, things came out good for the coach, but the focus, as it has all season long, one game at a time. Tomorrow they've got the biggest game in school history. They're going to be ready to play.
And good luck to them
yes.
tomorrow. All right, thanks, Perry.
You're watching News 12 at 10, the one to watch for local news.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us tonight. After being escorted off a practice field this past summer and then prosecuted with 2 felony counts of child pornography, the charges against MSU head football coach Todd Hoffner were dismissed today.
News 12's Joel Ronk tells us about the judge's decision.
I'm just so thankful to be waking up from this nightmare.
Charges against Todd Hoffner dropped. The MSU head football coach faced 2 felony counts: using minors in a sexual performance and possessing pornographic work.
This ruling today confirms what we have contended all along here, that Todd Hoffner is totally and completely innocent.
In this 26-page court order, signed by Blue Earth County Judge Krista Jass, the document says to the count of using a minor in a sexual performance, the state has failed to produce substantial evidence establishing probable cause. To the second count, possession of a pornographic work, Jass said in her order, there is insufficient evidence to reasonably establish that Video 1 and Video 2 constitute a pornographic work.
I'll be the first to let you know that I am sorry for using my cell phone to videotape some innocent and harmless family moments.
After Hoffner spoke today, his defense attorney, Jim Fleming, took aim at the prosecutor, Michael Hansen.
One of the many troubling aspects of this case is that no one from law enforcement knew what the video was, and they went to the prosecutor, Michael Hansen, and asked him. Without any analysis and without any legal thought, Mr. Hansen decided alone that these images were child pornography.
In a statement released by the prosecutor, Hansen said the prosecutor's office was only trying to protect children. A statement released by MSU says Hoffner is still on leave. In Mankato, Joel Runk, News 12.
MSU school officials say a university investigation against Hoffner is pending.
While Coach Hoffner's status at MSU remains up in the air, today ends the criminal part of a saga that began back in August. It was August 17th, in the second week of practice, that university officials literally escorted Todd Hoffner from the field and placed him on paid leave. Neither side would give any indication of why at the time, prompting speculation on everything from NCAA violations to criminal charges. The answer would come 4 days later, when Hoffner was arrested on child pornography charges. The criminal complaint pointed to 3 videos found on Hoffner's work cell phone by workers at the university. Videos the Hoffner defense team said were private family moments and not pornographic.
There's nothing in there that's graphic or sexually exploitive or anything along those lines.
On August 27th, Hoffner's wife added her voice to his defense.
And I assure you that our children are not abused or exploited.
August 30th, MSU begins their regular football season with a 44-10 win at Minot State with assistant coach Aaron Keene at the helm. The team remains undefeated. September the 14th, Authorities complete their search of Hoffner's computers, cell phones, and stored data without finding any further evidence of any criminal activity. October the 8th, a report from Blue Earth County Human Services says social workers found no evidence of abuse after interviewing Hoffner's children. On the 27th, Hoffner's attorney filed a motion in Blue Earth County Court requesting for the dismissal of charges. Coach Hoffner appeared in court on October 31st, taking the stand to tell the judge how the videos were spontaneously made and that there was nothing inappropriate about them. On November 14th, prosecutors filed their written response insisting the videos showed lewd behavior. After weighing both arguments, the judge today disagreed with prosecutors and threw out the charges against Coach Hoffner.
We now continue our coverage of this development with reaction to today's news.
News 12's Brittany Larson talked to people who've supported Hoffner and his family throughout the case.
It was a sigh of relief for Todd Hoffner supporters after finding out the news his charges have been dropped. All appeared quiet at Todd Hoffner's home in Eagle Lake this afternoon, but a next-door neighbor had plenty to say. Nathan Grunzner says this has been an up-and-down roller coaster with a very happy ending.
It's been very difficult. We felt very bad for the family and all they've been put through. We have children the same age as theirs, and they play together all the time, and so just to see this and to see it so close, it's, you know, very glad to hear that it's gone the way it has.
Showing support any way they can.
Seeing them, tell them keep up, been to the candlelight vigil, and keep in touch with the family and just let them know that we're supportive.
On social media, much of the same. Friends of Todd Hoffner Facebook page filling up with messages like, "Our prayers have been answered. This just made my day." One woman says she has tears of joy and this is great news. Another saying, "I'm so happy for all of those involved." Over at MSU, where players and fans are gearing up for the Division II quarterfinal tomorrow, freshman Craig Schumacher, who never misses a game, says he's very excited.
Now they're 12-0, and it's crazy to think that, you know, they did it all without their actual head coach, and I'm happy for them that, you know, the charges were dropped. And
while Coach Hoffner has plenty of support in the community, it's still not certain whether he'll remain here. The family recently listed their home for sale, but haven't said if they actually plan to move. Brittany Larson, News 12.